Well, Michigan's a great school, and today's the first day they could actually contact me instead of me contacting them. Coach Beilein gave me a call around 1:45 this afternoon and offered me a scholarship to play basketball for him in the University of Michigan, and I accepted it. So,
tell me why Michigan stood out in your mind. What did you really like about the Wolverine school and the program?
Well, obviously it's a great academic school, and academics are a very important part of my decision. They play in the Big Ten Conference, which is arguably the best conference in college basketball. So, great academics and a great coach with great basketball is hard for me to turn down.
As far as your choice, with Notre Dame was in the finals, Virginia was in the final group, what was it about Michigan that gave them the edge?
Well, they expressed the most interest in me. Notre Dame and Virginia were both pretty interested. They came to watch me play some. But I think Michigan saw 4 or 5 of my games this year, and I visited campus probably half a dozen times. They showed a lot of interest in me and liked what I had to offer. They offered me a scholarship today, so I couldn't turn it down.
As far as your game goes, what did Coach Beilein and the rest of the coaching staff there express that they liked about your game that will allow you to be a good fit there?
I think the first thing is my ability to shoot the basketball. That's a very important part of a Beilein offense. My size helps that. Being about 6'6" and being able to shoot is a good combination. I think they think I'm pretty tough, which is a good thing. Zach Novak and a lot of those guys, they come off as pretty tough and gritty players. Those are kind of the guys that Beilein likes to recruit and likes to have as part of his program. So I would say those 2 things.
And when you take a look at your game, what do you feel like you need to improve on in the next 2 years at Canterbury to get to that not only collegiate level but the Big Ten level?
I think defensively is going to be the biggest thing. Getting quicker laterally and just quicker in general. I think that's a big thing. You can always get stronger and faster. Become a better athlete, and that'll help me a lot in the Big Ten. And become a better ball handler too, because I'm going to have to play the 2 and the 3 spot there. You can never be too good of a ball handler. So,
as far as you go, what have you progressed on from last summer to this summer? Because you look like a Division I player last summer, and then you kind of just blew up into a high major Division I player over the last 9 months.
Well, I spent a lot of time in the gym and in the weight room. I think that's what a lot of it is. Hard work pays off. There's no doubt about it. I lifted 3 or 4 times a week, for 2 hours. We did a lot of speed work and agility, and did a lot of stuff to work on my explosiveness and my jumping ability. That made a big difference. That transformed my game. I got stronger inside, became a better rebounder, was able to make plays that I wasn't able to make a year ago. So I think hard work is the biggest thing. I knew I was going to be good, but I didn't know how good I could be, and I still don't know how good I could be. Hard work can make you something that you never thought you would be before, and we'll see what happens.
What is it about the program and the progress that the University of Michigan has made under Beilein that intrigues you about this university, about the basketball program specifically?
Well, Beilein's a great coach, and he's got that program headed in the right direction for sure. He's landed a lot. Tim Hardaway Jr. was there as a freshman there this year, and he was a great player. He's going to go to the NBA pretty soon. Darius Morris was a great player. He's going to the NBA, so he's recruiting very good players, and I think that's a very important thing. And he's obviously a great coach. Had a lot of success, at Michigan and West Virginia. They almost beat Duke. They lost to him by 2, and many thought Duke wouldn't lose a game this year. So I think under Beilein's leadership, I think that's the biggest thing, and they got great players who want to be there. They're not just there because Michigan, is their only option. They actually want to go to Michigan, like myself, and they're kind of running through the door, so to speak. So,
anything else you'd like to add?
Just like to thank God for everything, for blessing me with the ability to play basketball. Not everyone's as fortunate as I am. I'm just glad that I used my talents, and it's just great, and I'm glad to be there. Thanks.